Hi friends, so today we are going to see Budapest gambit along with smothered mate. So how we will do that? So let us start to basically the game start with d4 and black reply by developing his knight on f6. So always try to develop your pieces towards center. So if you see before this move when knight was on g8, knight was controlling only two square, that is on f6 and h6, but after the knight moved to the center it is controlling more square. So always try to move your piece towards center. So with this black develop his knight and white responds with c4, and now here black will play the Budapest gambit, that is offering free pawn at e5. So white accept this free pawn, and after this black will move his knight on g5, attacking the pawn at e5 of white. So at here white will think that white can develop his dark square bishop and also protect this pawn. So white move his dark square bishop. So after this move black will give check to white king, and here white can retrieve back his dark square bishop to save this check, but if white retrieve back his bishop, the pawn at e5 will be defenseless and our knight will take this. So instead of retrieving back the dark square bishop to save the check, white will move his knight on d2. So by doing this white develop his knight and also save his king from check. But if you observe over here, we have made our opponent king surrounded with his own pieces. So our opponent king has no escaping route now. Our opponent king is surrounded with his own pieces. So that is the concept of smothered mate. Smothered word means cooking food in covered container. So here we are covering our opponent king with his own pieces to give him smothered mate. So after this move black will play a silent move, that is e7. The idea of this move is to paralyze the pawn at e2. So let us see how this will be done. So after this move white does some natural development. White move his second knight on f3, and now here black will bring his knight on c6. After this white will try to attack this dark square with bishop by playing a3, attacking the dark square bishop, but here we don't have to take this bishop. So here we don't have to retrieve our dark square bishop, we are going to sacrifice our dark square bishop. So instead of retrieving our dark square bishop back, we will play knight to e5. The idea of this move is to give check from d3 to king. So after this move of knight to e5, our opponent may think that we have done blunder. Instead of saving our dark square bishop, we have moved our knight, and if he takes our dark square bishop, then this is checkmate. We will place our knight on d3, and this is checkmate because the pawn at e2 can't move. The pawn at e2 can't take the knight because our queen is attacking the king on e5. So as name suggested, this is smothered checkmate. The word smothered means to cook food in a covered container, and here we have given checkmate to our opponent king by covering our opponent king with his own pieces. So as you see over here, king has no escaping route. Our opponent king, queen, light square, bishop and knight are covering our opponent king, and it has no escaping route, and we delivered a beautiful checkmate, and this checkmate is known as smothered checkmate. So that's all for today. So we have seen Budapest gambit along with smothered checkmate. So if we go back to some, yeah, over here this particular position is Budapest gambit. So we have offered free pawn so that our opponent can open the d5. So this is Budapest gambit, and that's all for today. So if you think that you have learned something from this channel, consider subscribing our channel and also like this video. Thanks.